Hello guys, it's your friend Annie here and welcome to today's support live. So if you are new to my channel is support channel for all the caffeine quitters, and then I do also other kind of videos, health related, fitness related, and then I talk about Jesus and faith. All that you can find here in my channel. So today's support video is something that I thought it's just really cool to make. Because, many people, when they fall off the so-called fall off the mountain with caffeine, they are just wondering what is happening to them and why they feel just suddenly that they did lose everything and they are not functional anymore, and they think that they are going crazy or they have some kind of very intense brain injury. But that is not what it's all about. So in this video, we are gonna learn in what does it mean if you fall off the mountain with caffeine. And if you have been falling off the mountain with caffeine, I hope this video will give you a lot of support and reassurance. And you can also join my Discord group where I help people all over the world who are going through caffeine withdrawals and post-acute withdrawals and who have been falling off the mountain with caffeine. So let's start. We're gonna go through all my symptoms that I went through in my own caffeine withdrawal and post-acute withdrawal journey. Just because I wanted to make another one. I have made a few videos where I have shared all my symptoms in this journey, but this is something that people, of course, want to know and they ask, and that is what I'm giving support for people who are going these really intense symptoms. And this journey can feel lonely in so many ways for many people. So just know that you are not alone. And even these symptoms can feel really, really like terrifying and hard, and really hard to understand that how caffeine can do this to people. It really can. And caffeine is an actual drug and a poison. And I really recommended you also to read a book called Caffeine Blues if you don't have any kind of information what caffeine does to brain and the body. But let's start with this. And if you have any questions during this live, you can also join the chat. I will open the chat here in another window. So there we go. So caffeine withdrawal and PAWS symptoms full list. So first of all, I want to say this a little announcement is that caffeine affects your brain's dopamine, adenosine, adrenaline, and stress hormone levels, and of course all the other neurotransmitters levels. So when you quit, especially after heavy use, and if you quit cold turkey, which this falling off the mountain happens usually for people who quit cold turkey, so that's why I don't recommend that. I always say the safest way is tapering slowly, because we never cannot know that if somebody's gonna fall off the mountain or not. And of course, falling off the mountain doesn't happen for everyone. You can still go through like caffeine withdrawals and post-acute withdrawals without falling off the mountain, meaning that you start to have these severe anxiety symptoms and nervous system reset. So just know that. So when you quit, especially after heavy use, your nervous system goes in the reset mood, which can bring on intense mental symptoms like OCD tendencies and health anxiety. So these are, of course, the symptoms that many people have to go through if they so-called fall off the mountain with caffeine, which did happen to me then 18 of 2020 it did happen. Before that I was completely functional, even of course I wasn't optimal because I was using heavy amounts of caffeine, and I did use caffeine over 30 years of my life. So it was really still a shock because I was never had felt like that. Of course I had my OCD that I had really young age because of caffeine, but I was functional. I was so-called functional addict. So caffeine, even you don't fall off the mountain, it's not healthy for anyone. So we're gonna just now start to go through these symptoms. A little bit trigger warning for some people who are going through this. If you don't wanna hear these symptoms, or like they can be, for some people this can be like even hard to read because these are really intense stuff. But this is really something that many people have to go through after they quit caffeine. And just know that this is not your fault. this happened to you, it's actually, even it feels very, very, very hard for you now, it's something that does goes away. It's not dangerous. It's actually your system is rewiring itself back to balance, back to normal, and all your neurotransmitters levels are finding its way out back to normal, and all the systems in your body are balancing out, and all the organs in your body are like getting healthy again. So we're gonna start with the migraines and headaches. So I had like severe headaches. Like headaches were severe. Many people, when they quit caffeine, they think, oh, it's just 2 weeks and then maybe some headaches. That's basically what people think about caffeine withdrawal, and what you're gonna find if you gonna Google in mainstream. Like it's like caffeine withdrawals about 2 weeks. But this is not the case for many, many people, that if they have been using caffeine for heavy amounts long time, and if they do fall off the mountain, if they do cold turkey and they do end up this falling off the mountain journey, it's not gonna be a 2 weeks journey. Actually, I will reveal something. People that I helped, I really don't know anyone who have been healing even in the first year, 1 year, who do really fall off the mountain. So for many people, this takes time. Hello, Jaakko, welcome. So severe headaches, very normal. Those will pass when everything goes back to balance. And blurry vision is very normal. I had like very much that blurry vision. In the beginning, I couldn't really be able to read anything. Watching or taking eye contact was really impossible. I just felt like really sick with my eyes. My eyes did have a lot of glue allergy symptoms. Eye itching is very normal if you do fall off the mountain. Just remember, all these symptoms also you can put these kind of under the anxiety umbrella, because anxiety itself can cause a lot of all kind of feelings and symptoms which can feel like really like terrifying and bad. But it's just because your nervous system did experience that really like heavy shock, and it kind of went to the reset mood where you have to, your nervous system kind of have to start from all over again, meaning that in the beginning, many people, us who did end up this journey, we couldn't tolerate any stress. Like for me, it was just rocking in the corner, like, or just pacing in my house, pacing in the room, couldn't do anything. I was just scared about everything and anything, didn't know what happened to me. I thought that I had a intense brain tumor, didn't have any support, nobody didn't support me, didn't know anything about dangers of caffeine. And if you watch my channel, I have been doing pretty well with this job throughout these years, helping tons and tons of people, and channel is growing, and this information is finally getting out there, but really slowly. So that's why I will keep sharing these videos, so people doesn't have to feel that they are injured or that something else is wrong. Because if you were normal before and then you did cold turkey and you did end up this falling off the mountain journey, then you can just trust that these symptoms are part of the healing, and with time you're gonna see improvements, and with time all these symptoms will go away. You also have been messaging me a lot, and you still keep messaging me, Anni, when I'm gonna heal, when I'm gonna be 100%. That is the question that I cannot give you direct answer, because it can be individual, and there can be some genetic factors that can affect your journey. But I can say that it can take times, many months or many years. So that's what I can say. So if you are still under 5 years having symptoms, it's completely normal. So eye itching, bad vision, facial pains, heavy or full head feeling. So facial pain is really normal. Like you can have all kind of facial pains, tension in the jaw. Caffeine quitting itself can cause a lot of all kind of like muscle tension feelings, and just like overall really weird feelings in your face, and it also can be like that you are not just feeling never like connected to your body, or if you take pictures, because you can have just so much that dizziness and DPDR and all that. So yeah, so brain fog is very common, and just feeling inflamed in the brain. Brain saps also are very common. So brain saps is something that people always ask, like, what is actually, like, I having brain saps, but they don't really know what they are. So they can almost like feel that, like, the popping popcorns in your head, or electrical chaps in your brain. So that is really common, and it's nothing dangerous, but I know it can be annoying. It's just part of this rewiring and part of this anxiety journey. So difficulty finding words, especially in the beginning. For me, it really, like, those first months, I don't even remember. First 6 months now, I don't. It's just almost like a nightmare that happened, and it's almost like my brain doesn't let me go there. But because I had my notes, thank God for that. So that's why it can be just really hard that you cannot even find words, or even if you try to speak with people or make a video or whatever, it can be just impossible because how bad and disconnected and terrored and feared and terrified you feel. So just know you are safe. It's nothing bad. It's not gonna happen to you. Welcome to my support chats that I do daily in Discord if you feel like this. And time will fix this. So don't worry. So feeling like your brain is stuck or overactive, like some people call it like ADHD on steroids. That's how it can really feel. Like you feel when you fall off the mountain, when your nervous system starts to do that rewiring and you cannot take any kind of stimulation. Like it means that with time, your body just slowly starts to like tolerate stress better, because your HPA axis, the stress like axis, is also balancing out through this journey, and all the neurotransmitters levels, like we know the dopamine down regulation and adenosine up regulation, all that have to happen in this journey while you are healing. So just know that if you feel like ADHD on steroids and feeling like you cannot just tolerate any stimulation, it's really normal. You can try out like even like wearing sunglasses in the beginning, or just like keep the stress really low if you can in the beginning, because your body are not able to handle stress. But with time and with patience, you see that your body will able to tolerate more stress. So definitely lack of concentration can be one of the symptoms that can last really long time. Like you can have a good moments when you start to have these windows meaning that you start to feel a little bit better. Sometimes in the beginning those windows can be only few minutes. For some people in the beginning, first 6 months, they don't really experience windows. So that's also normal if you just have constant terror and hell for some months in the beginning. So it's individual. It's depending on the people. Like there are many kind of stories. So, but just know that it's all healing. So then, of course, the sand in the head feeling. What is that? What is feeling sand in the head? Some of these things are just how I felt. Remember, these are not any kind of medical terms. That it's just like sometimes when you are going through this nervous system total reset and post-acute withdrawals, it's really hard to explain for these symptoms how you feel to somebody who are not going through this. And just remember that people who are not, like I said, if you are not falling off the mountain with caffeine, meaning that you are still have withdrawals or post-acute withdrawals, you are maybe some kind of functional, you are able to work, do things. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't have still like long journey. Some people, even they don't fall off the mountain, they can still have years of journey healing after quitting caffeine. So that is something that depends on the person. But this live is especially for those who did fall off the mountain. And in the future, I will have my own Discord server, especially for those people who did fall off the mountain with caffeine, meaning that they started to have this total nervous system reset, and they started to go through these really, really severe symptoms. So just know that you are not alone in this. And if somebody else who did quit caffeine is saying to you that, yeah, I did quit caffeine, but I didn't have this. It's, of course, it doesn't happen to everyone, but if it did happen to you, just know it's normal and you are not alone. So yeah, smash head potato head feeling. This is something that we have been speaking a lot with my sweet friend Mandy. And I have made so many videos with Mandy, so please check out those videos if you haven't watched those. You can find them in my channel in those live sections. So there is a lot of videos that I have made with Mandy, and we have pretty much shared everything about post-acute withdrawals and our experience. So memory problems is really something that many people have. Feeling like having Alzheimer is really common, what people always say to me. People message me, Anni, they can be young, like even people in their 20s, if they fall off the mountain with caffeine, they can message me, Anni, I really feel like I have Alzheimer. I cannot really memorize anything. I just don't remember anything. And for me, it was really scary because, you know, when I started this journey, before I started to find information and before I started to find that Facebook group, Quitting Caffeine Facebook group, and Kato's videos, I was just like, how can people even feel like this? Like, is it this possible that my head is feeling this? I never had in my life ever even imagined that person could feel like that. So it was really scary for me, and I only thing that I think I should survive is I thank Jesus, and every day I thank Jesus, the Lord, every single day that I went through this, because like, yeah, I know the struggle, but the thing is that time gonna fix this, and it's nothing, there is nothing bad's gonna happen to you. Just don't take any supplements, don't take any medications, don't start to take anything to worsen up these symptoms. Like some people, they end up, unfortunately, they end up going to doctors, of course, because how bad they feel. And then doctors will start to like put them in the benzos or put them in the SSRIs or some kind of medication, which can really rebound the symptoms. It can rebound and make them 100 times worse. So that's why I always say in this my channel, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a specialist, I'm just a very common human who went through post-acute withdrawal syndrome. And I have gained a lot of information during this journey. That's why I know some things that, which in my channel, I only recommend these few things in the journey, like drinking water, eating healthy food, and move your body as much when you are able to tolerate stress. First, you cannot do that. Many people cannot do that. Then slowly you build up that. So the best thing is just let your body heal without messing up the healing in any ways. And just know if you need any medical advices or stuff, that is not something that I do. I give peer support. Peer support means that I give support the people who are going through the same stuff that I went through. So that's why people are trusting with me with this, because they have seen that my improvements and how I did get better, and they have been starting to see their own recovery, how they have been starting to get better. Thank you, Jaakko. Thank you. Yeah, I will do these videos every now and then when I have time. I'm pretty busy with my channel now, so people are definitely finding this information more and more. Okay, so if you have memory problems, don't worry, they will pass. Then stomach and digestive issues. This is something that I know it's really, saying direct, it sucks. Of course it sucks, because, you know, I have so much these stomach issues. I was shamed. I haven't had those before. Even on heavy use of caffeine, I was over 1,000 milligrams a day, really long time. I might have some stomach issues, but never this severe, like the constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, stomach pain, bloating, burping. Like burping was really something, like it was really annoying and shaming, because I felt like I cannot, of course, in the beginning, I couldn't even go anywhere. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to connect with anyone, because I was just in that terror and fear, and my nervous system was on fire, feeling like ADHD on steroids, that it can really feel. But having these stomach issues, I know some of you are messaging me about these and you are really scared. It's just part of this. Caffeine is really toxic also for the stomach and for digestion. And you can find a lot of information about that in a book called Caffeine Blues, how it actually affects our digestion and our colon. And it's almost like yeah, it really is poison. So just know all these are your body trying to go back to homeostasis. Sugar cravings or general dopamine cravings are really, really common. It's weird that when people quit some other drugs, oh, I was almost falling with my chair. When people quit some other drugs, they crave the drug they quit. Like, let's say that you quit smoking, you usually crave nicotine. You can tell that you crave nicotine. Or if you quit alcohol, people can say that, oh, I crave alcohol. But you know what happens when they fall off the mountain with caffeine? They don't crave caffeine because they feel this severe falling off the mountain symptoms. So what they do crave, they crave dopamine. They crave something, they crave junk food, but they really crave like that dopamine, because we know that if you have watching my videos and about that neuroscience that I have shared, that caffeine really downregulates those dopamine receptors, and it affects that, and then of course upregulates the adenosine because it's blocking the adenosine, and that is the main factor how caffeine affects the dopamine system, blocking the adenosine, which makes its difference than any other drugs. And that is the main, like the huge factor what people doesn't get about caffeine. But anyway, so if you are like craving tons of dopamine and you just feel blah and unmotivated, even people who doesn't fall off the mountain, if they quit caffeine, they usually say me, Anni, I just feel blah. I can go gym, I can go work, but I just feel overall blah and depressed, and I don't have any joy or drive in my life. So that is part of your neurotransmitters balancing out in this journey, and your dopamine system, it have to kind of grow back. And this is not really about that you don't have to dopamine. This is really about the receptor stuff. So this is really about the receptors and sensitivity of the receptors. And we're gonna do a video with Mandy about those D2 receptors. So you're gonna have a little bit neuroscience if you are interested. But you don't really have to know everything so deep. What you need to know is that you are healing. During this, I know all this information that I'm putting now out there, this can be overwhelming. For me in the beginning, meaning my first 2 years for me was the beginning, which I understand it now really well. I just wasn't not able to dive deep in information. Sure, I did have information in my own way. I watched those Dr. Donnelly Snipes videos and that was all good, but I couldn't really focus and concentrate those, and I was just still going through my days the best as I could. And of course, sometimes when you have a good window, you can feel like, oh, I'm healed. Now we're gonna make a video. And that's something that you see in my channel, that sometimes in my journey, I felt that I was healed, but then I did hit by a wave again and more symptoms, because I just had to like learn this throughout the hard way and just share my experience, what I have been doing like while I was healing. So that's why some people may think that, yeah, she seems to do so well at 2 years or stuff, but I was just in the good window. So my journey was lengthy, ups and downs. One thing that I'm sharing now before I forget, because people have been messaging me that, Anni, what is the most hardest thing in this journey? They say is these ups and downs, what they cannot really understand. So I try to make it clear now. Let's say that when your brain is fixing those neurotransmitters, whatever they are doing, it cannot fix them all like at once. That's part of the neuroplasticity and why it's so slow. So it can fix some of those neurotransmitters, and then almost like, think about that you are in a car and you are driving with that car, and then there comes some kind of workplace that they are fixing stuff. So they put the block. So the car doesn't go, like the block is there when they are building those. They are building those neurotransmitters, whatever, receptors. So your car doesn't go through. Then, okay, that part is fixed. Oh, now car can through. You feel that dopamine. You feel almost like you feel almost normal. Okay, then they start to fix another neurotransmitter systems or whatever. You get to hit another building blocks. and then your car doesn't go through, you wonder, hey, why did I feel so good and now I don't feel good? That is just how it goes. It's not linear. People always want to see that the recovery goes like this, that first they feel really bad and then slowly they feel better. Unfortunately, with this nervous system reset caffeine withdrawal PAWS, that is not the case. The case is that the journey is not linear. You're gonna have a lot of ups and downs, good days, good moments, bad days, really bad days, horrible days, terror days, and then amazing moments. And symptoms can change. Sometimes new symptoms can come, old symptoms can go away, and etc., etc., etc. But the result is that your brain will find a total homeostasis with the end of the journey, and you feel better than before ever. So just know that that's how it just goes. The roller coaster ride is something that you have to ride with it. And the best thing is not add any extra fear, meaning that don't go Google symptoms. Try to not Google. I know in the beginning we all do that. I did do that. But then let's say that when you get on your own in this journey, start to stop that Googling. Stop that Googling, because it's gonna just add extra fear. 3 days, yay! You got this, good. So okay, stomach systems very normal. All these symptoms are gone. I don't have any of these, so I just can now just laugh like, haha, I have those. But I know when I was going through them back then, it wasn't haha, it was painful. But just know if you go through this, really, really normal. Nothing to, like, I know you are scared because your nervous system is on a fire, fight or flight free state, but there is not actual danger. And that's why it made so hard, because I had also that tons of health anxiety, which many of you now have. I know you have, because that's what I do, help you with that. So if you have like tons of that health anxiety, you are wondering, oh, what I did do now? Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I stress myself too much? Did I do that? That's part of the rewiring. So that health anxiety, OCD, intrusive thoughts, they all will go away with time. So then we're gonna go with heart and circulatory system. So this is something that now pay attention. Caffeine is not something that you can just drink it like without any consequences. Actually, this summer there have been a lot of news, people dying with energy drinks, because we have here in Finland a lot of heat now. And those kids are just drinking monsters, knockouts, energy drinks, and they dehydrate the body. And then they go to state of emergency caffeine poisoning, and that can be something that it actually cause you a heart attack. So just be aware that that can also happen with caffeine. So heart palpitation, feeling like a heart attack, is really common symptom in caffeine withdrawal. If you are not going through this falling off the mountain, it can still be that even if you taper, you can have heart palpitation. People who taper, they still can have heart palpitation. It's very common. Cold fingers or feet, yeah, very common. Pins and needle sensations, meaning that you have these electrical feelings, pins, needles around your body. It's just your nervous system, part of this nervous system reset. Also electrical feelings inside the body, also very normal. Weakness, extreme weakness, tiredness. Some people, the weakness is so extreme the first 6 months that they are pretty much on the bed. For me, the weakness, first it wasn't in the weakness for me. First it was just full ADHD on steroids, terror, fear, having the face in the room, have to walk, because so much that adrenaline, cortisol was pumping out my body because of the high shock and stress. So for me, the tiredness and the weakness, tiredness came a little bit later, but when it hit me really hard. Like I really felt like I was like a 90 years old woman. But that will too pass. So tremors, your body can tremor in the beginning, meaning body is releasing the stress when it's tremoring. So don't get scared of that. Tremors are really normal. Heavy arms and leg, feeling that your legs feels like 90 years old, even you are in your early 20s. Isn't that crazy? People in their 20s. This is not something joke. I'm not joking here. I'm just sharing the information about post-acute withdrawals and the nervous system reset. So there are young people in this journey that they say that, Anni, I haven't never have heavy arms and legs. Never. Like, young people, they don't have heavy arms and legs. But when you do have this nervous system total reset, you're gonna feel like a old, weak woman or man. That's normal. It's gonna ease. Caffeine is not a joke. Caffeine is not a joke. Then a skin and physical sensation. I just wanted to put this in a section so it's a little bit easier you to read this. I know I could just put them in the straight line, but skin issues, skin rashes, neck pain also is there, but let it be there. It's okay, it's get better. Neck pain was really hard for me, like the neck tension, the neck pain, and it didn't feel like the normal neck tension after you do a really good workout. It just feel like my neck was tight all the time because of the body's being in the fight or flight state, body's being in that anxious when your nervous system is in the fight or flight state and it's not calm, relaxed state, your muscles gonna tense. And caffeine itself is gonna cause a lot of muscle tension. I know people who are on caffeine still, they say that, Anni, I have so much muscle tension and pain. But this, when you fall off the mountain, it can go in the next level. For me, it did go like 100,000 next level, the pain that I never had before, because there was nothing that I could do that. Massage, I couldn't have a massage because nobody couldn't touch me. That's how terrified I was. Then later in my journey, for example, now, if I get a good massage, that's really helped me, that I love it. But in the recovery, when your nervous system's going through this reset, it can be that nobody cannot touch you because you are just so, unwell. It doesn't feel good. The touching doesn't feel good, but that all will come back. Okay, so the neck pain, of course. Restless legs. Okay, restless legs. Benzo people who have quit benzos, you know what I'm talking about. Akathisia, it's really, really common when people quit benzos. And there is a lot of information about the restless legs quitting benzos. But it also is due to dopamine. Think about the Parkinson patients, and it's like a restless legs is actually something that people can have that a long time while they are on caffeine, but they cannot connect that with caffeine. So for me, it was a lot of restless legs nighttime. I just had to move my legs, and that's also due to dopamine. So you can have that symptoms before your dopamine grows back to normal, those receptors, before they fix itself and everything, you can feel the restless legs. So just know it's normal. And also the jelly legs, meaning that your legs suddenly feel loose. I have to say, that was really, really bizarre symptom, feeling like almost your legs are like jelly, like blah. So that is really normal. Also anxiety symptom. Then sleep and energy. So insomnia. Insomnia is one of the most common symptoms during caffeine withdrawal and post-acute withdrawal. Waking up the nighttime, in the beginning I did wake up every single hour or every single half an hour. I did wake up pee. I was restless. I had to wake up. I didn't know what was wrong with me, and I have to pee all the time. The peeing all the time is also something that many people experience. Not everyone, but many. So just know it's normal. Extreme tiredness and fatigue, like I said, for me it did came a little bit later on the journey. Very common. Feeling disconnected or exhausted after exercise, or I did feel very bad next days after I had exercise, or many days after. This is also something that you will notice if you start to try to exercise too early, too much, and do too much too early, which of course I sometimes did because I didn't know what was going on. So that is something that when you go through this nervous system reset and pause, you want to take it easy and just build it up slowly based how your body feels. So you don't have to scared about overdoing it, because sometimes if you have a good window, it can be that you want to have a good workout, you go to the gym and then you crash afterwards. It's just like with time you're gonna see about what amount stress you are tolerating. So just know that everything works itself through with time. Like, you just have to ride with this. Time will do the thing. The thing is that you have to have patience with this. So feeling disconnected or exhausted. I'm trying to speak good English now. After exercise, or so now this is, I did read that already. I don't know, I did read. So this is just something that people are messaging me also sometimes, that Anni, I went to the gym and it was a good workout and now I'm not able to walk or do anything. So just know it's normal. I don't know why I started to read it again. Okay, so lack of motivation. Oh, can caffeine do that? Yes, it can. Do you know when you hit that dopamine system hard, like years and years, and you are just like, your brain just adapts with that, and then you quit that caffeine, which is a poison, you're gonna feel unmotivated, probably long time. Sometimes you can have bursts of motivation, and then you feel like blah, you don't just feel like doing it. So that is really normal. Feeling off. Most common thing that people say to me, Anni, my brain feels off. I have these moments of brain stuck when my brain doesn't work. Really common in caffeine withdrawal and post-acute withdrawal journey. It just means what I said about all the neurotransmitters levels, neurotransmitters functions. That's the more right way to say. Neurotransmitters functions finding their right balance, and the body is trying to go to homeostasis. So hot or cold temperature swings. This was something that I already have forget, because I'm now 5 years, 3 months without any caffeine. So some of these symptoms I have already forget. Now when I just did do that list again and find out this, I was like, yeah, I did have that, by the way. So it means that you can suddenly just start to feel really hot in your body or really cold, but not because of there was cold outside or there was hot inside. It just happens inside your body, because the part of the homeostasis is also like your body's temperature system is out of the whack. So constant thirst also at the nighttime. Yeah, so constant thirst was something that I had a lot. It was really hard. I had to drink all the time. I had to keep my water bottle in my bed, and when I was waking up with that terror and nightmares, I had to drink water all the time. So that can be also really common symptom, is part of this anxiety journey. And also, I think it's part of when body is healing after those years and years of dehydration while you have been consuming the poison. So your body is just craving that water. The cells are craving that water. But it's part of the anxiety for sure. So then, of course, the mental health and the cognitive function. This is the most hardest part, why people need this support and help and reassurance, is this mental part of the journey, the anxiety part, the fear part, the terror part. So feeling not yourself, loss of your identity. It doesn't mean that you suddenly did get lost. It means that you don't have connection to your own personality, to your old hobbies, to old habits that you have. Because of this nervous system reset, you just feel almost like a baby have to start thinking about the little baby when the baby have to start learn to tolerate stress. It almost feels like that. But first you are like a little baby and you cannot do anything and you cannot look anywhere, and it can be really hard and really scary, but then with time you are able to tolerate more and more stress, and you feel like yourself again. So vivid dreams and nightmares, very common. Even if you didn't fall off the mountain and you are healing after caffeineism, you can have a lot of vivid dreams and nightmares. Dreams are signing that your brain is rewiring itself, and after quitting any kind of drug, it's really common that you see a lot of more vivid dreams. That is actually so cool about this journey. I see so much dreams now. Before, when I was caffeinated, I probably did see some dreams, but I didn't really remember those. So if you want to write your dreams down, that can be just really cool, something to do. Like, dreams definitely comes more vivid after quitting that drug. Suicidal thoughts. Okay, now a trigger warning. Trigger warning. I'm speaking a little bit about the suicidal thoughts. But guys, you are all safe. Nothing bad's gonna happen to you. So the suicidal thoughts was something that, for me, they hit hard. I wasn't any suicidal before this journey. Like I said, I was busy living life, working out, doing my thing, like many of you who did cold turkey. And I also want to say, before we go to the suicidal thoughts, that many people actually end up this journey because their doctor have said them to quit caffeine. Not here in Finland, I don't hear that. Usually here in Finland, people, they just somehow, if they end up falling off the mountain, they just end up cold turkey themselves, or they just overdose caffeine. But around the world or America, sometimes people can have that their doctor said to them that quit caffeine, and then they end up with cold turkey, which will lead them this falling off the mountain journey. So doctor doesn't really know what they are saying. Same with the benzos. That happens a lot with benzos, that people are just doing things that doctor described them. They are taking their meds as a doctor described, and then doctor starts to cold turkey people, and they end up having severe injury, medical injury, or just they end up going through post-acute withdrawals. So just that's why it's really important to warn people about this. So suicidal thoughts can be something like that you wanna hurt yourself or do something bad about yourself because you have so high anxiety and terror. But it doesn't mean that you're gonna do it because you weren't suicidal before. Unfortunately, there was one case that I knew that did end up suicide after quitting caffeine, and that is really unfortunate. That is really sad. But that's why it's really important you to know that if you do fall off the mountain, if you have this severe anxiety, terror, and fear, it's all about your nervous system trying to balance itself and going back to the homeostasis. So just know. And yeah, they will also end. All suicidal thoughts goes away. Depersonalization derealization. We talk about with English DBDR. I didn't know anything about DBDR while I was on caffeine. I didn't even know what that was. I have never researched it, never know what it was, never thinking about it. And then I was there having tons of DBDR derealization. It took me almost over 1 year to have this term, what I was going through. I was always just saying that I feel weird, I feel not myself, I feel disconnected. That was the terms that I didn't know how to explain it. But now we have so much more research about that. If you actually Google DBDR, depersonalization derealization, you will find a tons of information what it is. For me personally, it wasn't the scariest symptoms. Personally, I know everyone have their own scariest symptoms. Some people, they have intrusive thoughts, it's the scariest for them. Some people, it's for pains and just fear. Some people, they say that depersonalization is scariest. For me, it wasn't scariest because it almost felt like you living in the dream, or you're living in some kind of like a multiverse, or I don't, it just does feel that you don't connect yourself. That is depersonalization derealization. Why it happens? It happens because it's all about the protection. After that heavy shock, your body is keeping you safe. It's part of that anxiety. Part of those anxiety symptoms, you can put those symptoms under the anxiety umbrella. So I don't recommend that you start to Google all these symptoms like, I have this, I have stroke, I have cancer, I have brain tumor. That's what people do, of course, during this caffeine puffs. They Google cancer, they Google brain injury. I Googled like brain tumor all the time because I was 100% sure that I only have like maybe a half a year lifetime based my symptoms left, because I was like 100% sure that I have severe, intense brain tumor. But some people are just so confident that they have like really, really bad, like some kind of like really dangerous disease. I heard this, people say that I have some unknown disease, dangerous unknown disease, or they have cancer, they think they have cancer, or they think that they have just some kind of memory disease, or COVID or whatever. No, you don't have this. You did fall off the mountain. You are going caffeine withdrawal PAWS. But I know how it can feel when your brain is like feeding you that fear, and you're in that anxious mindset, and you cannot go in this prefrontal cortex, which is all about thinking clearly and planning things and stuff like that. So that's why you think about that you have all kind of disease even you're not. So DPD are very normal. It goes away. Hi, Cass. Yes, blessings in Jesus' name. Amen. So intrusive thoughts can be really tricky one in this. I have made with Mandy own video about intrusive thoughts, and I have made that video about my own language, which is Finnish. So I have been speaking about a lot. I had intrusive thoughts on caffeine already, so I knew what intrusive thoughts are. Then there are many people who are ending up this journey. They don't know what intrusive thoughts have. They never had it on caffeine, never ever had them, and then they fall off the mountain and they go severe terror with intrusive thoughts. So intrusive thoughts basically can be anything about, for example, you think about hurting yourself, hurting others, doing something bad. They can be sexual intrusive thoughts. They are not dangerous. They are also part of the anxiety journey. They will go away with time. Constant worrying and racing thoughts. It's basically like same thing, intrusive thoughts, but the constant worry is something that some people say that it's their most annoying symptom. And I can relate that because, when I asked my ex-boyfriend that in his perspective, what was the most hardest thing to watch when I went through this journey, he said that I was scared and fear about everything and anything, even there wasn't a real danger. So that is something that is really hard for other people to understand, because it's happening inside of us when we are going through this reset journey. So it's really normal you have that constant worry. Usually people are worrying, are they gonna heal? And that is it's very normal worry in this journey. So don't worry, guys, you are gonna heal. So when you have this worry and this racing thoughts, you can just say yourself, no, it's just my anxious mind. I'm gonna be okay. Because you're gonna be okay. Yes, thank you, Kosh. So then intense anxiety, depression. Depression was something that went over the next level. Never had it. I never had depression really in that level in my life. I was always able to function before, even on caffeine. Never have to be on bed, or like I was always in the go-go, even with the depression. And you can actually have a functional depression, if you didn't know that. Caffeine can cause a functional depression because it works like an antidepressant kind of. So with caffeine, it kind of like almost like a, how would I describe? I always have sometimes these cool describing pictures in my head, but think about that. you would have a drug available everywhere that can just take your depression away, take your worries away, take everything away and make you feel like woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Even like if you are like me, that like I was so adapted to caffeine, I never felt that high. I felt normal having caffeine because that's just how I was adapted, and like it almost was when I was using caffeine, it's some weird way caffeine actually did calm me down. I don't know if that's based on my genetics. That would be really interesting video to do about our genetic factors and about dopamine receptors and all that, but yeah, so it's definitely is masking, like when you use caffeine and then you quit, you're gonna feel depressed. Many people are going to feel depressed. And that is part of the rewiring. So the depression that you feel can be something that can be like, it makes you non-functional. You don't want to do things. There is no way pushing through it. People say, you have to push through it. Just push through it. Just go to the jog. Just go to the exercise. Take the supplements. Take your vitamins. Don't say that because you don't understand what you're speaking about. Have you read about what is the nervous system reset and post-acute withdrawals and going through these terror fear symptoms? Have you gone it through yourself? Are you in this journey? So then don't give advices that doesn't do anything but hurt people. Don't give those kind of advices. You don't want to end up like hurting people. I just say these things because like it is something that sometimes people do when they don't understand what is going on. So yeah, definitely depression is normal and it will go away. So then of course, you can have so much this morning anxiety, like that it can feel like, the morning anxiety can feel like, how would I say? For me, it felt like when you wake up in the morning, you just feel really anxious, almost like panicky, ADHD on steroids, just very uncomfortable. Then anhedonia, lack of joy and happiness. We have made a video with Mandy about that, so I don't go so more in this video of that. Like, you know what anhedonia is. It means that you don't have any enjoyment of anything. For me, it felt I didn't feel anything. Not sad, not joy, not happy, nothing, completely numb. It was really scary, never felt like that before, ever. Couldn't enjoy life, couldn't do anything. That will pass with time. Extreme sensitivity to stress, like I said, people who are going through this nervous system reset, PAWS, they cannot tolerate the stress, period. With time, that gets better. Easily overwhelmed by small tasks. Like, let's say that you have to clean your house and take your kids to the kindergarten if you have kids. Thank God I don't have kids, but my heart goes out with you, everyone who have kids going through this. My heart really goes out with you. You are doing just amazing job out there. I know I have speaking with many of you, and I know how. And I cannot describe because I'm not you, but like how you describe me, that Anni, I almost cannot take care of my kids. And this makes me actually emotional because, you know, it's not something that you would wish anyone to go through, but just know that you will be able to be the best mother and best father for your kids after this is over. Your nervous system comes back to balance. You feel that connection and that love towards your kids and your loved ones, and you are not gonna be that disconnected state. So if you have kids and you're a mother or father going this healing journey, just know that you will be very good when this is over, and you can do all those things with your kids and enjoy playing with them and spending time with them. Okei, mitäs Tuula sanoo? Moi, olin äsken niin ahdistunut kirjastossa, etten pystynyt tulostamaan tiliotteita, vaan tilasin ne pankista. Ahdistus on vaikea tässä vieroituksessa. Kyllä, Tuula. Se on tosi vaikeaa ja se on normaalia, mutta tiedä, että se on just normaalia. Mulla oli samaa, että mä en pystynyt kans mulla oli siis hankaluuksia ylipäätään niinku kaikkien asioiden hoitamisessa. Mulla ei vaan niin kuin kiinnostanut ne ja mulla oli vaikeaa keskittyä esimerkiksi juurikin laskujen maksamiseen ja moniin muuhun. Mutta tiedän, että se on väliaikaista, mutta tiedän, että se on hankalaa. Yeah, so I'm translating what Tula said. So Tula said that she had so much anxiousness in the library that she couldn't mikä se on tulosta, that you couldn't do the task that you did need. So let's translate that. So yeah, the anxiety during the withdrawals can be so overwhelming that it can really stop you doing the normal daily task, like paying bills. That was really hard for me, paying the normal bills or just taking care of myself. I did have to loan money for everyone, to my parents, to my ex-boyfriend, everyone. I just wasn't able to take care of myself. So just know if you are experiencing that will too pass. So yeah, like we get easily overwhelmed by small tasks, panic attacks that we have been talking about. They can be really scary. If you have a panic attack, try this tip. Many of us, we did have tons of those in the journey. Beginning, it's very normal to have them daily, just constantly. So try to just put your attention a little bit somewhere else when the panic attack comes. Go a little bit walk, eat something. That gives your brain something else to think about when if panic attacks comes. So difficulty focusing or controlling thoughts, it's very normal. All that, like lack of concentration, emotional extremes or emotional numbness, feeling emotionally numb, especially if you experience something sad, I remember that, okay, it was throughout the pandemic when my symptoms were going through, so people were all about scared of the viruses and stuff, and I was just feeling numb. Of course, I wasn't scared of the viruses because I don't believe viruses, but I was just remembering that I was just feeling so numb. I was in just my own bubble, going through the Caffeine Withdrawals PAWS, couldn't think about anything what happened outside world. If there would be a war happening, I would just have been going through in my own terror, fear, Caffeine Withdrawal PAWS. That's the best way to describe it. Like, you cannot really care what is happening in the world or what other people are doing when you go through this. You are just in your own little bubble. So if you feel like that, you are not alone, and that will all pass, and then you will be engaged and connected with the outer world and the people and your job and work and exercise and all what you are and what you wanna do. So yes, yeah, I read your comments in the minute. Yes, sister, and blessings to bed, sister. I was praying with the other day. Fells her pets and plant. Jesus loves you when she cares for them. Yes. For example, when she feeds pets and water plants. Yes, indeed. Okay, so then we have this, like, hopelessness is of course one thing that it's very normal that when you go through this long journey, it is for many people long recovery after quitting caffeine, you can feel a lot of hopeless. Me and Mandy, we have talked about that. Like, sometimes you feel that you just lost your hope. Like I said to myself, there is no way that I'm gonna do this next 4 months or next 5 months. I just didn't have any idea what I'm gonna be, because my symptoms were just so up and down. Especially in that first year, I just didn't know what to expect. But then second year also the hopelessness were a lot of there, because I didn't really yet have those really good windows where I could feel more length of time really good. So just know that is part of the journey, and it will pass. It will. You even. I don't even now where I'm now. I don't feel any hopelessness. I feel so much just motivation, drive, joy, happiness, wanna do things, wanna educate people. I have goals, all. So it goes away. So reproductive health, this is something that I just want to, of course, add this list because I'm a woman. So if you are a man watching this, your journey, of course, can be a little bit different because you don't have periods, but it doesn't mean that you still can have all these symptoms, except these period symptoms because you don't have periods. But for us women, because our period cycle, those symptoms go along a lot with the period cycle because those hormonal rewirings that is also happening. Like we know that caffeine affects all our hormones. It causes estrogen dominance. It affects your progesterone levels, your testosterone levels. It makes all those out of the whack. So I felt a lot of high anxiety during my periods. Usually when you start, it's like a day one. When you start, then you actually feel a little bit better. But then after that, I felt really bad again. And what was really interesting that it was many times like third or second day in my period when I went like really high, when I started to go in the really heavy wave. So during our periods, our body is detoxing also those caffeine toxins and poisons and all that. So, and of course our body is detoxing all kind of emotions and stuff too. But just know that during our periods, you can have a lot of symptoms because your hormones are just rewiring. Your periods can be painful. You can have cramps. Before this journey, I definitely have cramps, but now I don't have zero, so I'm very sure that my periods cramps on caffeine was due to caffeine, because when I was on caffeine, I had them. Now I have zero. Now, the only thing when I have in periods, I feel I'm bleeding blood. And I can do everything. Like, that's so amazing. I don't have PMS. I don't have PMS. I don't have any those symptoms that I have during the PAWS. So many people, when they quit caffeine, they have told me that they have cured their PMDD. So their PMDD can be like the worse PMS symptoms, almost like PM symptoms, but they are more intense. So, and PMS, so they have recovered from those just by quitting caffeine and letting time to heal their body and hormones. So you can also have other kind of weird pains during your periods and ovulation. Also, I will add this just by saying in ovulation, during ovulation time, that normally when women are going through their ovulation, they usually feel like more energetic, and that should be their most like go time. Of course, because you are meant to have babies around that time. But that wasn't the case in the PAWS or like nervous system reset journey, caffeine withdrawal journey, because every ovulation I had like tons of those head symptoms, feeling just really like going crazy. I felt like really overwhelming feelings in my head and just too much in my head. And that's just part of the hormonal rewiring. But that's how I have heard many other women are going through the same. So it's not just my symptoms. Many have that. So then these are just other symptoms that I wanted to add here. So in the beginning, it's very normal if you have flu-like symptoms, detox symptoms, glue coming out, coughing, this kind of stuff. It's really normal when you are detoxing, and that can happen a long way on the journey when your body is detoxing out those caffeine toxins. So coughing and mucus, sore throat, really common. By the way, this sore throat symptom is really common anxiety symptom, happens a lot. Don't be scared of that. Detox symptoms, all over the detox symptoms, meaning you can have all kind of pimples, you can start to have acne, you can start to have weird kind of, like, it was my last year, my 4 to 5 years was really cool and not cool same time. Cool in that sense that I was healing a lot during that 4 to 5 years. I was still healing a lot. So I had a lot of all kind of like, that I thought that they were like bug bites, but they weren't. They were actually part of my body's detoxing. So I had all kind of detox, like their pimples around my skin. But now my skin actually feels like really soft, which is really cool. And of course that's part of, because my nervous system is now in the calm state. So so my body can heal itself like more quicker, and because it have now energy to heal injuries better than I'm not caffeinated and in that stress state. So then also the frequent urination that I already said, nighttime urination, yeah, I already said that, but it was just for me so severe. And then constant feeling of never being normal. My brain never felt normal. And I was sometimes scared to come here, even YouTube, I didn't know what I was scared, but I was scared to do video. I was scared to connect because I couldn't really keep up with the chat. Feeling like ADHD on steroids. Sometimes, this is so funny. I will check your comments in a way. And by the way, this is now the full symptom list and all symptoms gone. So yee-hoo, yippee, yee-hoo. But now, and 5 years, 3 months. So we're gonna now put me in this whole camera, and I'm gonna check your comments in the minute. But yeah, so it was funny because sometimes when I was doing lives earlier in my journey, sometimes people did pop out, and of course people comment in the chat. That's normal. When you do live, that's supposed to happen. But then they were saying like, yeah, you look like you ADHD. Yeah, of course, because my eyes go like, and now this is funny. Okay, I can make a joke for that, but when you are going through that nervous system reset where you feel disconnected to other people and yourself, your eyes can like, I cannot. This is weird because you cannot act that hell that you went through. Like you cannot act really. It's something that people can think that you have ADHD or on steroids or something because you have hard time to concentrate, and that is not that something is like happened to you that you suddenly have ADHD on steroids. Yeah, of course, because of the post-good withdrawals. That's why. But for me, and from people, of course, it's something that it's hard to understand if you didn't know what was happening in the beginning. Now I will check the chat. Yes. Love, blessings, and lots of joy until later. Thank you, Kush. Lots of joy, and see you later. So, do you have any questions now? I think this was a good live, a little bit over 1 hour, but there was just so much that I wanted to say to you, and just know that those symptoms will pass with time. And I will also link my Discord group below this live if there is some new ones out there. There's going to always come a new people in this journey, and my Discord have been growing. I already have 130 members in my Discord, so yeah, it grows fast. It grows fast, but guys, this just tells me that about the caffeine and what kind of drug it is, and the community keep definitely growing, and I will be spreading this information. But just know that now, because I just feel so good, I also wanna do all kind of other videos, working out, exercise, living my life, because I'm able just to read Bible, speak about Jesus. But I will of course keep doing these support videos for you every now and then. But now I'm pretty much shared everything that I went through in my journey. And I just thought that like in my previous videos I say that I still keep doing those updates every year. So next April, when I'm 6 years, I will do my update. Like then you see like how much I have improved even 5 to 6 years. Even now I don't have any PAWS symptoms, but who knows, I still feel like I'm still like improving. Like it's so amazing that you can even have different levels of happiness when you start to improve. You just find so much things, like these behavioral things that I had on caffeine. I was having a people pleasing, not feeling confident. I was feeling ashamed, and all those are just rewiring. I feel just so much more confident now, and just more like Anni, like the person that God created me to be. I just feel like more natural. Like I don't care if I wear makeup or not. This is me, natural. Like, what is this? This is like normal. Normal and good. You start to feel normal and good. Like, when you quit drugs, you just gonna be your authentic self, because your nervous system will go back to balance. Like, there's nothing you have to worry about. Like, on caffeine, you are just constantly like, what this person's gonna think about me, and what this is gonna be. Like, that's what the drugs do about the nervous system. It keeps you in that fear state, because caffeine is a biochemical stress. So you don't wanna consume it. All right, if you don't have any questions, we're gonna have now ending this live, and I wish you all really amazing day, and just keep it up, and thank you everything. Hi Yuppie Star, don't worry, you can watch it later. I think that you probably know everything that I already speak in this video, but just have a nice day there, my friend, and see you guys, and watch this later and whenever you have time. All right.